If you are currently researching Medicare supplement, also known as Medigap insurance, I want to take a minute to highlight 4 key areas that most consumers obsess about when shopping for a Medicare supplement plan that almost produce no value in the end result when they finally pick a plan. So today I'm going to cover 4 of the most common questions that we're asked, that we receive in our comments, and that we have found that most people are discussing on Reddit when they're out there researching Medigap companies, trying to make sure that they do their due diligence to do their homework in researching the plan before they pick one and enroll. So let's take a look. This is what we're going to cover today in this video. Number 1, closed blocks of business, how they work and how to understand them. Number 2, trying to predict rate increases. Number 3, understanding or ignoring underwriting risks. And number 4, getting stuck in a plan you can't change. Hi, my name is Mark Pripp. I've been helping people for over 15 years understand how Medicare works and helping them pick a plan to enroll in. Today, I want to cover 4 of the biggest questions that we find that are asked around the Medigap shopping process. And I want to shed light on some of these areas that are very important. And I want to dispel areas that people obsess over. They think if they do enough research in a certain area, they will be able to find the cheapest Medigap premium and avoid higher rate increases in the future. So let's get at it. Let's go. One of the biggest wastes of time that I see people asking in our comments or when they call our office and work with one of our agents is, I want to pick a Medigap company that does not close blocks of business. Okay? This is something that people are obsessed with. And in reality, you will never find a company that does not close a particular block of business and open a new one. This is just the way the Medicare supplement market operates. And I'm probably going to receive a fury of comments of people that are upset with me or disagree with me. The reality is that people have gotten wind of how Medicare supplement enrollment works. And that is very common for a company to promote Medicare supplement plans under a certain name in certain states for a certain price point. They gain a tremendous amount of enrollment, and then they close that block of business and open a new one at a lower price point. So everything that you read online and all of the comments and information we receive is, well, I don't want to enroll in a Medicare supplement company that they frequently close their blocks of business and my premiums skyrocket. Okay. You could do all the research that you want. You cannot avoid this. This is the way the industry is structured. And it's built this way to maintain competitiveness in an existing block and remain competitive for a new block for people to come in. You can call that greed. You can call that unfair, but it's just the way that it works. Stop researching and trying to figure out what insurance company does not close their block of business and raise premiums. It just doesn't exist, okay? If it's that important to you, you can look at some of the Blue Cross Blue Shield companies. They are one of the few companies who do not do this. And I'll use Florida as an example. So Florida Blue in Florida has a block of Medicare supplement business that's been open for many, many, many years. Florida Blue, like other Blue Cross Association companies, operate in their own individual state. Yes, you have nationwide coverage if you pick a plan with any Blue Cross if it's Medicare supplement, but their enrollment is limited to the residents of that state. So you don't usually see closed blocks of business for smaller state-based companies or regional companies. So you're thinking, okay, great, well then I'm going to go with the Blue Cross. Here's the problem with that. Because they don't do that, their premiums are always more expensive than every other carrier at the starting rate. So let's take Florida Blue, for example. Right now, let's say that their Plan G supplement premium is $250 per month, and maybe Cigna is coming in at $190 per month. Well, Cigna will use the closed block and open a new one, but Florida Blue will not. So you can get in with Cigna at a lower starting rate, but before you realize it, because they started that low, they're going to get trend data and claims history, and that rate is not going to remain that low for that long. They're going to continually raise that premium. So my advice to you on the closed block of business, you will not figure out a way around it. The average individual, including myself, does not know how to predict an insurance company's claims to premium ratio. You will never figure that out. Nobody will. That is not public information. My advice to you is to find a reputable carrier that has been in the Medicare supplement business for longer than 5 years. And I emphasize 5 years because in 2024 and 2025, we saw companies like ACE and Allstate in the market with extremely competitive rates. They were significantly lower than everybody else. Well, guess what? ACE and Allstate announced in 2025 that they are closing their block of business to new members completely. That means that they came in and underpriced their plans. People jumped on board and got them. And now they're taking in far less premium that is going out in premium. Okay, so their claims are higher than the amount of money that's coming in. So the low price point in the Medicare supplement market is backfiring on a lot of these new smaller companies that cannot maintain that risk. So my advice, stop asking about closed book of business and stop obsessing about it. It's no different than you shopping for homeowners and auto insurance and saying, before I pick Geico, I want to know, what are you going to do to my rates in the future? And are you going to close this block of business? You'll never know that. There's no way to get that information. So somewhere along the lines, somebody got obsessed with this concept, and now everybody thinks that it's actually a decision-making factor, and it's not. Pick companies that have been in the industry for 5 or more years, that have longevity. Find the most affordable premium. Compare your G and N to high deductible plan G, and pick a plan and forget about the closed block of business conversation. It will relieve you of stress and eliminate a whole area that you don't have to think about. Coming in at number 2 on the list is trying to predict which company is going to have the lowest rate increases. Again, that is an element that is tied directly to the closed blocks of business. You will never figure that out. You will never know. We used to be able to say, historical data shows us that over the last 5 years, the average rate increase was 5 to 6%. That's great. That's looking at historical trends that we could possibly predict what the future would hold. Well, guess what? In 2024 and 2025, particularly mid-year of 25, we started seeing rate increases of 25% all the way up to 45% from companies like Mutual of Omaha, Cigna, Aetna, and United Healthcare. Where did that come from? Nobody saw that coming. And so you cannot try to find a company with a predictable rate increase. You won't do it. You are wasting your time. Where you're going to feel the most pain on a rate increase is with smaller companies that have a smaller risk pool. They are most likely going to have the higher rate increases. Companies like United Healthcare, which have the highest membership enrollment in the country, they are the number 1 insurer of Medicare supplement plans, followed by Mutual of Omaha, followed by most of the Blue Crosses combined. Those larger companies that have been around for many, many years tended to have the lower rate increases. The problem is the initial rate with those companies is always higher than some of the smaller companies like Cigna, also known as HealthSpring now, or Aetna, or Mutual of Omaha. So you started low, but because you may have gotten with a reputable company with a smaller block, the rates went up. So a lot of this has to do with the massive influx of baby boomers coming into the system. The Medicare supplements are still very rich in benefit and are priced very low. So my assumption is these companies are still working off of old claims data and historical trends. Well, now all of these people are coming on Medicare and flooding the market. They don't know what's going to happen with claims. They don't know how much risk are all of these new people bringing into the pool. That's how you won't ever understand the closed block of business or the rate increases. Because in order for you to understand that, you would have to know what kind of people am I in a risk pool with? And let's say I'm in a risk pool of 250,000 people. Well, no one knows what 250,000 individuals' health issues are, so you'll never figure that out. So again, like my first point of the closed block of business on rate increases, stick with a company that has been around for longer than 5 years, Mutual of Omaha, HealthSpring, Aetna, United Healthcare, and some of the Blue Crosses of different states. If you've not heard of the company before, or if they are new to the market with low rates, avoid them. Just don't deal with these no-name companies. Don't obsess about rate increases because you'll never know. No one predicted 25 to 40% rate increases in 2025. Now, I personally think that will start to trend down as things settle down and as rates are adjusted and they can assess the risk better. I don't think that that's the future of Medicare supplement. I definitely don't think 25 and 40% is the normal, but we're optimistic that will start to come back down to pre-25 rate increases. And now for number 3 on my list, it's understanding the Medigap underwriting process. Most people fall into what I call the Medicare Advantage trap. Okay, what this means is you just get on Medicare, you're on Medicare A and B, you're all excited, you've worked your whole life, you've paid your taxes, you've now got original Medicare A and B, and boy, this Medicare Advantage plan that has no monthly premium from Humana looks really attractive. I don't have to pay anything per month. My copay for the doctor of primary is $0. My specialist is $40. Oh, they're going to give me over-the-counter benefits, free rides to the doctor, free groceries, free dental. It's amazing. This plan is amazing. It's offering me so much at no cost. How do I say no to this? Here's the problem. When you're first eligible with Medicare, you have your initial open enrollment period. That means when you get on Medicare for the first time, no company can ask you health questions if you apply for a Medicare supplement plan. It's your guaranteed issue right when you're brand new to Medicare. It's 3 months before your 65th birthday, the month of your birthday, and 3 months after. So that makes up a total of 7 months. You also have a 12-month Medicare Advantage trial right. That means if the very first time you get on a Medicare Advantage plan, if you're unhappy with it, anytime in that 12-month window, you can return back to original Medicare. However, most people don't understand their initial enrollment period, let alone this 12-month Medicare Advantage trial right period. So what I usually refer to for simplicity is the 12-month rule. Most people get on a Medicare Advantage plan and they don't realize that if they don't make a change prior to that 12-month trial right, medical underwriting comes into the picture. And a lot of people are shocked when they're told, I'm sorry, I would really like to help you enroll in this Medicare Supplement Plan G, but you cannot pass medical underwriting. So that initial open enrollment opportunity is kind of a golden ticket to get onto a Medigap plan. The key here is knowledge is power. Educate yourself, know what you're up against when you're out there. Now, there is one caveat to this rule, and that is that certain states have different underwriting regulations. You might live in a state where you have a birthday rule, which allows you to change plans around your birthday, or a state that has year-round guaranteed issue rights like the state of New York. So instead of me going through each and every state with all of those rules and regulations, I highly recommend you understand what your state rules are if you were to start on a Medicare Advantage plan and pass that 12-month trial right. What are your state rules that would allow you to move to a Medigap plan? Or are you in a state where underwriting would be required? So definitely look into that. Very, very important. That's probably the biggest one in this video that people are blindsided by. They could afford Medigap from day one. They were initially attracted to the no monthly premium Advantage plan. Once they got on it and experienced it, maybe they no longer like it or it doesn't work anymore. Their doctor left the network and they want off of it. They don't want prior authorizations anymore. They want that freedom of Medigap, and they could be turned down. So figure out that information before you enroll to make an educated decision. So the last point on my list, number 4, the real danger is getting stuck in a plan that you don't understand or that you can't change. And when I say can't change, I typically mean a Medicare Advantage plan that you're now locked into and you can't get out of it due to medical circumstances to move over to a Medigap plan. So I hope this information helps. I wanted to highlight, do not become obsessed with the things that you cannot control. Focus on the things you can control. You can control the category of companies you look at remember again, look for companies over 5 years, try to find the most competitive premium, and don't focus on closed blocks. It won't help you. Don't focus on rate increases. It won't help you either. I hope this helps. I hope I didn't overwhelm you. I hope this information kind of equips you to be able to ask your broker or your agent or anybody these questions. Once you can kind of iron out some of these factors, you will feel way more confident when you do pull the trigger. A lot of agents and brokers are trying to sell you on the upfront benefit of a plan's feature or style, but you don't know how that plan is going to work until you get on it and start using it. So focus on the factors we discussed here. If you have questions, comment below, give us a call. We'd be happy to do a needs analysis, walk you through the options you have, and point you in the right direction. Thanks for watching.